8:20 by our calculation. Apologies, running a little late this evening. Life sometimes gets in the way. My fault, not hers. I'm Ian. This is my lovely wife.
Rachel.
We are of Big Family Life in the Simpson Family Home, and 4Fs with the Simpson family. The 4Fs representing faith, family, food, and fitness. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. We see you. Faith, family, food, and fitness. Faith because we believe that we can. Faith because we believe we can do all things through Him who loves us. Family because aside from God, there's nothing more important on this earth. Food because food is medicine, and fitness because we believe that overall wellness can be achieved by maintaining a strong mind, body, and soul. So we're just using the 4S system to manifest our best lives. This is a segment we like to call Real Talk, where we dive into some real world issues, and without a lot of, we're just going to get right into it. We're doing a follow-up on last week's Amber Alert. Let me get out the way and allow my wife to have some say. We're doing a follow-up on last week's Amber Alert.
Yeah, so my husband was able to, I guess, put out feelers. And also, looking up some information and, what is actually required for getting a Amber Alert. And also touching base with family. Because it just was not sitting right in our soul. And for us, it has to do with a lot of seeing what happens to Indigenous mothers. We see a lot of this happening to myself included, where you have the other parties or other parent who has either connections or I guess family that are able to bully the mothers of the children, and they use the system to get away with it. And I feel that there has to be awareness, especially for the mothers, because it's been an ongoing battle. It's been an ongoing issue. We see it a lot in the media. Right away there's stereotypes, right away there's negative views on the parent, there's negative views on the women specifically, because right away they're assumed they lead a certain lifestyle, which is not true. And they don't realize that the impact that pressing charges against a mother fighting for the right to be a mother and doing right by the child. And I think what I had seen on one of the posts was that the mother was, trying to actually work with the father and trying to, make things as amicable. Amicable, thank you.
As possible.
As amicable as possible. Amicable as possible. And usually when the mother is trying to, work it out and be the bigger person, usually the other person is unwilling to meet them halfway. And what happens is usually it's a narcissistic parent who then uses other people to bully them and belittle them and oppress them with the system. And so my husband, was it this weekend? I'm not sure. It was the other day. As he's doing it, because it is close to home, because he sees how it affects me as a mother to our children. How the system is used against me specifically. And to him this touched at home for him. And so he's like, hey, because he's with me and supporting me and along with me as I'm going through this journey, but it's also seeing it happen to another young lady, a young mother of Indigenous descent, and saying, hey, this is really occurring. We need to bring more awareness. So he did make a post and in support. And it's more just to that this young lady and their family do have allies, and we're not just going to sit here quietly and watch it happen. Because the more noise that we make, the more awareness that we bring to these issues that affect us. There has to be accountability, and as a family and as us as parents, accountability goes a long way, because the world seems to be lacking it. Go ahead, baby. No, that's...
Please carry on. Please carry on, please.
So and that's what I mean. I have the support. I have the support, and it's like once my voice my voice has started. It's been a journey because my voice has never been there. I used to just fold as soon as authority was used towards me. I used to fold as soon as things got a little bit tough, a little bit hot. And mind you, I still do. However, I have my encourager beside me saying, hey, get up, come on, you know, gently. But yeah, it's our voice as young Indigenous women. The more you practice, the more you get stronger, the more you feel encouraged, and you have more courage to speak out against this this system that's used to oppress us. And yeah, and my heart goes out to this young lady and to the family. I'm glad that she has her family beside her to support her. I had a journey where, you know, my own personal journey where I've done it by myself. And to this day, I still have family that tries to keep me down and don't even reach out to actually see what's going on. Right away, they jump on the narrative of the other people that are hurting me. So I commend you to, you know, the parents, the mom especially, for speaking out and supporting your daughter through this. As a mother of four daughters, I find it's very important, and this journey is hard as a mother to go against something that I was raised to just remain quiet. And my husband, you know, gave me a pep talk the other day in the vehicle, and it was hard for me to hear, you know, hear him saying how proud of me he is, and how much courage he sees me as I'm trying to fight for the rights of our children and the rights as a mother. So for me, thank you, baby.
Of course.
And
biggest fan over here.
And so, yeah. Sorry, I don't have.
Don't
I'm
be sorry.
kind of monotone
Don't
today
be
'cause
sorry.
it's just,
So I'll jump in at this point, and if you're not familiar with the story to this point, so just to recap, last week there was, and it's so interesting because we were sitting right here doing an episode of Real Talk, and an Amber Alert was issued. And, you know, we go through the cellular devices, so it came up, and I mean, that's important stuff. An Amber Alert comes, so we shut down what we were doing, and we read the Amber Alert. And it came in several times over the course of the hour or so that we were broadcasting, and then to our initially to our relief, before we were done broadcasting, the Amber Alert had been resolved. The child had been located, and you know, they made that announcement, and we all sat here, myself included, because I mean we're talking about kids here, right? So you know, a child was missing, a child allegedly was in danger, and so we sat and we applauded. And so the next day I made a post. I remember I made several posts. I made a post. That's what I do, and I applauding the Amber Alert system on its swift response and bringing swift resolution, because I thought that you know. And then I saw something, and I reposted it as well, and it was like, I believe it was the grandmother's response, and I was like, oh no. And so I started taking a closer look. And as my wife said, this strikes close to home, because as a black man, I have had the system used against me. I've had police institutions and the systems used to bully, manipulate, control, and intimidate me for 25 years. So I was like, no, not this. And so I reached out. I have a small, reliable network. Hi, Debbie. God bless you. Thank you for stopping in. Hey, TikTok. God bless you. Thank you for stopping in. I have a small, reliable network, and so I reached out. And I started getting some very concerning information. As it turns out, the young mother's name is Harley Precious Wilson Parento. Harley Precious Wilson Parento is the mother of the missing child. And it would appear that I'm going to go ahead and read the post that I made in response to the information that I was given by very reliable sources. And it's starting to get a little bit of traction, and this is not to this can't be allowed to no. And this was an open letter to the Winnipeg Police Service. It is fantastic that the Amber Alert did exactly what it was supposed to do. Congratulations. Now let's take a close look at some of the facts that you've chosen to ignore. As you say, she has been charged. The mother has been charged. She's been charged. As you say, she's been charged. However, quick review of public court records show there are no court orders against her. She is the legal guardian of the child. 2. The alleged father's name does not occur on any birth certificate or birth records for the child in question. Odd, how does he claim parental rights when he's not even on the child's birth certificate? 3. The alleged father abducted the child back in September, did not return the child after scheduled visit. No Amber Alert, no charges. Odd. 4. You, the Winnipeg Police Service, need the approval of the Governor General. Let me say that again. The Winnipeg Police Service needs the approval of the Governor General to charge someone with abduction and to put out an Amber Alert. In the absence of a court order, how were you able to issue an Amber Alert? And more importantly, in the absence of a court order, why would you issue an Amber Alert? Now let's get to the most damaging piece of information you've completely left out. The alleged father appears to be none other than the nephew of Manitoba Métis Federation President David Chartrand. Now this is where it gets really awkward, as it would appear that the MMF just made a sizable donation to the Winnipeg Police Service, and Mr. Chartrand took out a full-page ad stating how the Winnipeg Police Service were doing a fantastic job. You understand the optics on this are terrible, and we all know you will deny it. However, the truth will out at the end of the day, and if not in this life, you will have to answer for your sins before Almighty God. Let me close by saying, Winnipeg Police Service is a new day. You will no longer be able to operate with impunity. You will be held accountable for your actions. One last thing, shame on you, Winnipeg Police Service. Shame on you, David Chartrand. Yours is the greater crime. This was perpetrated against your people. Good night. Sorry, no preamble. Good night. Love you. Love you. Make up for it in the morning. Love you, love you, love you. Skedaddles right across here, baby. Love you. Love you. Good night, good night. Go on. My cape? I love your cape. Go on. Love you. So, the grandmother, the mother of Miss Precious, Ms. Malcolm, Tam Malcolm, Miss Tam Malcolm. Hers was one of the comments that I saw initially when I was investigating, and I felt so honored that she had reached out to us and posted on our letter. And her response was this, and I asked, of course, I inquired of her if we could use her words, and she consented. Says that her words are, yes, the only reason why the Amber went out, my grandson was with me the whole time and the police knew where we were. I was talking to them. My grandson was never in danger. I love my grandson and my daughter. She wanted what every mother wants. She hasn't spent the night with her son in 7 months or even changed his pampers or sang him to sleep. They took that from her. CFS did a lot of home visit where they had no concerns whatsoever. I'm sure if I had an uncle in power, things would be different. If my uncle was president, I'm a Métis mother from David's hometown. Why isn't he helping me? He's not, because I ain't his family. I'm sick to my stomach about everything. We just want him home. She doesn't want to keep him away from his dad. She wants him in his life. All she wants is to be a mom. It's her God-given right. And that is the mother of Miss Precious. Miss Precious has been. Excuse us a second, please, quickly.
Love you.
All right, son. Good night. Love you. All right. Good night. it would appear that a gross and egregious miscarriage of justice has occurred.
An abuse of power.
An abuse of power at the highest levels. And because the victim is an indigenous, just another indigenous woman with no power, no voice, it gets swept under the rug while the powerful men of the world do what they would. An Amber Alert. An Amber. I'm not talking about I've had the system used against me. Quickly, please.
All right. Love you.
Good night, baby. Thank you. Love you.
I'll just do this. Okay, good night.
Good night.
Night.
Good night, babies.
Night.
I've had the system used against me. I mean, police called. I won my lived life experience one afternoon. I went to court on a really lousy charge by the ex, and we went to court together that day, and I mean I was quite confident that she wasn't prepared to testify, and and I was young and dumb, and so I went and saw my legal aid lawyer, and my legal aid lawyer said, wait here, I'll go talk to the Crown. And then he went and talked to the Crown, and my legal aid lawyer came back, and of course they'd separated me from my ex at the time. My legal aid lawyer came back and said, yeah, the Crown said he's spoken to your ex and she's prepared to testify and we're prepared to go to trial. Said, but if you take this deal here, it's no big deal, you won't even do any time. You just time served, and it's just another charge. And I'm confused. I'm like, but I mean, I came here with her. She's not going to actually test. I'm confused. And however, and I'm just young and dumb, and so I took the deal because and then we left, and I'm like, and she looked at me. She said, "Why'd you take the deal?" I'm like, "Because they came and told me that you were ready to testify." And what are you talking about? And it's so interesting because that legal aid lawyer was my defense attorney. That legal aid lawyer is now a sitting, presiding provincial justice, Court of Queen's Justice. And I can't help but wonder if mine was one of the cases that helped to propel him into that position. Because you have to wonder, how does a defense attorney, a legal aid defense attorney, become a Court of Queen's sitting justice? And a very powerful name. His dad sits on the Supreme Court, but that's whatever. Whatever. So, I mean, I've had the system used against me, but never this is next level. This was an Amber Alert, and what we're not talking about is that potentially the resources that went towards locating a child that wasn't missing potentially could have been taken away from a child that is. Right? When you cry wolf at this level, somebody gets hurt. Right? At this level, I mean, if you have, okay, we got to put out 2 Amber Alerts. What's the more severe? Political connections here. Get this one out. Well, what about that one? Well, no, get this one out. And so what about that one? Was there a child that on the back end of this, is there a child that is suffering because they didn't get the attention that they needed, deserved, because political influence stole the day? I don't know. Baby, let me get out the way.
No, and that's there's a what ifs, coulda, shoulda. However, at the end of the day, there was a young lady that was hurt, and she's still hurting. And I feel that no other issue right now is more important than bringing awareness as to, because everything is all interconnected, all it's all especially when it comes to Indigenous women, it's all connected in some way. So all it does is take one person to have a narrative, one person to have personal bias, one person to oppress, and sometimes it's not even the the system or white supremacy. It's our own people, and specifically our own people. Because one of the things that we need to do is actually look at ourselves and what we have as family values, family traditions, because a lot of those traditions are all based on colonization as well. And so by decolonizing and taking out those patriarchal systems and putting in the matriarchal, because women are the caregivers, women are the carrier of waters, and water is very important. And for us as women to continue to be voiceless, and you see in the news how we're perpetrated, how we are stigmatized, how we are stereotyped, and how the narrative always goes. And that's where I feel that shame for Indigenous men to be perpetrating the stereotypes and looking down on the women who are, that carry the children within their wombs. And you're hurting them, and you continuously hurt them. And, it's time to heal as men, to look after those women and the children instead of hurting them. And the women need to stand together instead of tearing each other down. Stand with each other and support one another. And that includes using your voices to bring awareness, but also taking that time to heal yourselves and to heal as like your family, and then ripple out to your community. Because the one person that, the way I was taught is that if I have to look after myself before I can look after anybody else. So I just feel that we just need to stand together and bring awareness for this family, especially this young mom, and support her. I believe there is a GoFundMe page. I'm not sure if you can locate it. However, I think that she needs help. Every cent can help, because this isn't just fighting, a custody battle. It's much more than that.
It is.
You're fighting oppression. You're paving way for the next woman behind you.
That's right.
And I feel that's very important, because you can't do it by yourself sometimes. You have to have people behind you to help you.
And it's okay to ask for help.
It is.
This young lady has asked for help. There is a GoFundMe page. We've shared a link of, we shared it on our main platform on Facebook, Big Family Life in the Simpson Family Home on our Facebook platform. We've shared the link. This this could be my child. That's where I go. There's the, I just got a link. There's the GoFundMe just came up on the, thank you, Miss Moore. It just came up on the Facebook live stream. Yeah, and Daniel, I appreciate you. Order of Help, home, race, community. Charity begins at home. I can't argue with that. This young lady has asked for our help. This young lady has asked for our help. This is, and I'm so encouraged because I'm following the post. I'm following it very closely. Everything starts with cleaning your home. Yeah, that's a fact. I'm following it very closely, and I'm watching the responses. And I don't mean to separate us as people. However, in this issue, it's awareness, and it's so encouraging that the response that I'm getting from white people, And for sake of, I can't say it any other way. I apologize. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or insulting. Right? However, it's very encouraging because what I'm getting is just like, wow, really? Wow. That this is happening? That's what that was? Really? And yes, that's this is happening. That happens, and that's what that was. And yeah. And it's been reshared. How many times we need Miss Fiona Moore? We need to end this boys club mentality. No offense taken.
And
None.
that's what I was talking about, that patriarchal
System
that is created on. Men are always making decisions based what is right for women, and that's been happening for years. Unfortunately, what I was saying, by decolonizing, because colonization within indigenous teachings, was implemented. And before, long ago, women actually had a lot of, they were seen as equals. They had a say, they had their input, they had respect. And today, now we don't have that. And I feel that, the big boys club, it has to really end. And that's why I'm saying, like, both of us are in this together, because, yes, we have 4 daughters.
Mm-hmm. For me, if I can piggyback that very quickly, I mean, blended family. Prior to coming together and getting married, I only had sons, right? And that's challenging enough, trying to be a good parent to sons with a toxic partner. That's challenging enough. Who do we blame? Colonization has happened. Who do we blame for the current situation? You know what? For me, it's not a matter of blame, really, as who's responsible for getting us to the next level, and we can talk about that. And that's tough enough to be being parent to 4 boys with a toxic partner, but now I have girls, and I'm really, really, really kind of fed up with the whole idea that women need to act and behave a certain way for us as men not to hurt them or to try to take advantage of them. Because, there was a case here in the city a few years back. Ms. Moore, maybe you can help me with this. Blame and shame will not result in positive reconciliation. That is a fact, Ms. James. Jody James, I appreciate you for that. Ms. Moore, maybe you can help me with this. There was a case out of Thompson, DePaul. Either Thompson or DePaul in the last decade to 15 years in Manitoba here. I believe it was a rape case. And the justice, in a written ruling, wrote something to the effect that because of the way the woman was dressed, some way or another, she maybe asked for it. If you wear the uniform, you must be playing the role. And I'm really so sick of the idea that I have to now raise my daughters in a way that they gotta dress a certain way or they gotta act a certain way because so they won't be part of the 97%, and the 97%, and 97% of women, all women, have been sexually assaulted in one way or another. That's a freaking ridiculous number, and so somehow that's the woman's fault. How about we get to a point where I start raising my sons how to act like gentlemen? How about we get there? How about we normalize that?
And respect.
How about we normalize telling little boys that little girls have voices and it's okay for them to use them? How about we normalize that? How about we normalize having our sons be accountable for their behavior? How about we normalize that? Because I take it as a personal responsibility to model myself in a certain way and behave in a manner that my sons look at that. And first, that my daughters look at me, and I try to treat my wife in a manner that my daughters will look at that and say that that's how I want to be treated when I get home. And I try to act in such a way that I say my sons will say that that's how I know I need to treat a woman when I get older. It's a two-way street, responsibility on both sides of the avenue. You want to handle that, my love?
Yeah. So it's like accountability is different than blame.
Mm-hmm.
And then lack of responsibility is what humans love to dismiss. And that's it. Fiona, you're right. Like, it is. It's the
No, that was
perfect.
Jody, excuse me.
Oh, that was
Jody
Jody?
James.
Oh, okay.
Jody James, excuse
And then
us,
Fiona's
please.
like, well, no, okay, I'm aware.
Yeah.
So what? Yeah, we know systemic barriers are in place, especially for MMIW, and that's what we know, that the system has been created for the sole purpose of oppressing. We
Yes,
are
Debbie,
aware
thank
of
you.
it, and we know that the government won't take responsibility, because when we look at the police service, especially RCMP, why were they created? They were
Hey.
created to take indigenous peoples off their land so that they could take it.
Here's a little bit of history, folks. Say that again, please, my love.
So that RCMP was created to take indigenous people off their land so that they could settle on indigenous land. We are so aware of what the RCMP is created for. We are aware why the government has created the systems for oppression. Yes, they will not take accountability. They still will not take accountability for residential schools. They feel that, okay, well, we'll just give them money, that's enough. No. Accountability is by making it right, which is, no more broken promises, no more empty words of saying I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Do
but
better.
then,
Just do better. That's it. Just do better. That's it. Just do better.
And so it's like,
This is not doing better.
no, this is not.
This Amber Alert, this is
not-
not doing better.
Exactly.
This is not doing better, guys.
And then you have media who are perpetrating the stereotypes because they would rather put out news first instead of putting out news that is true.
Say that again. Please explain that.
Yeah, so right away they want to be the first one to put out news.
Want to be the first one to put out the story, regardless of whether the story is factual.
Because
And where's the media on this? Where is the media? Why is this not splashed all over the newspapers? Radio silence. Sorry, sweetheart.
Yeah,
please.
and that's where I run into a lot of questions. And I find that social media is an outlet for me to actually, not even an outlet, but a source of information that has some more truth than what we see in on CTV, CBC. All there is.
And yeah, before we get up into,
there's
I'll
more.
get to that very
Okay.
quickly. I wanted to address what Fiona had said, that she wasn't aware of that story. That's mine. There's so much stored up in here, and I only hope that I get it right. But I'm pretty sure that that did happen. I just don't remember the timeline exactly on what it was. But please do look that up
Yeah.
and stay in touch, please.
Yeah, and then Jody, same thing, is they teach you, with 3 boys, you teach them to never speak to a female.
Love that.
Because that is true.
Love that. Love
You're
that.
your child's first teacher. Mm-hmm. And
And that answers Daniel's question. Who's responsible for fixing it? That right there answers your question, Daniel. That Miss Jody Dame says, I have 3 boys. I teach them to never speak to a female in any way they would not speak to me. Whose responsibility is it? Us as parents. Sorry,
yeah,
sweetheart.
it is up to us, because we are our teachers, or our children's first teachers. And either you're going to fill your child with hate, or you're going to fill that child with love.
Mm-hmm. Which wolf are you feeding?
Yeah, but also bias. Because we have to be aware of how we treat other people, because they take on those behaviors and those belief systems that we put into their little hearts and minds. So by not creating those stereotypes or speaking stereotypes in front of our children, and just exhibiting love for all our people, all humankind, no matter the color of their skin. And then I don't know what else. If you give $1 million and the people can't organize the funds, and that right there is why the government
Is able to do what they do.
Yeah.
They just dangle the carrot of money. That's it, money.
But the thing is that with the government, they treat us indigenous people as children, that we're still their property, and they feel that, we can't do what we can. Unfortunately, the only way that people can learn is by making mistakes. And after that, it's a choice. However, if you can't even give them a chance to make those choices, how do you expect them to move forward? But we're not property. And those funds are for our community. Unfortunately, you need to educate on as to where funds come from. Sorry.
No.
So agreed. RCMP or the Canadian government. It was in theirs to give. Exactly. What else can you ask for? The parents, which.
That's in response to whose responsibility it was. So we're in agreement. Yeah. And so once again, there is a GoFundMe page.
There's some up here. Amen.
Debbie said, I taught my sons to never raise their hands to women no matter what. And I mean, we know one of your sons personally, and he is an upstanding young man. So
very respectful.
Oh,
he just like came in and just blended in with our family.
Right?
It's like one of our kids coming home.
And
okay.
Respect and understanding will never be garnered by being disrespectful. That's a fact. No argument. It's up to not just the indigenous community, it's up to every community. Dr. King was, he was right when he said that it's, to paraphrase, he said that it's a cruel jest to ask a man to pull himself up by his own bootstraps, when in fact he hasn't got any boots. Right? It's a true story. I can't argue that. Having said that, the reality of my lived life experience is just quite simply that I can overcome that. I've started to manifest my own best life for myself, for my family, by grace. This is a part of our act of service. This woman, this child of God, this child of the Creator, is in need. She has fallen victim to a patriarchal system that at one point or another, in one way or another, we may have all been victim to. This is Big Brother doing what it's always done, right? They act with impunity. They come in, they take what they want.
No questions
asked. And we're left to deal with the fallout. I say that we can do better. We can be better. You say change begins with just one act, with one person. We can choose to be the change we wish to see in this world. Now, we can choose to just allow this to stand. And I mean, you have no obligation to. I mean, your first primary obligation is to your family. Thank you. God bless. True words.
And
I hear
just
you.
Want to,
yes,
Daniel,
please jump on it.
You're two different struggles, you and your wife. No, they're not struggles. Well, we don't have two different, because we are a family and we take on the same struggles as each other. We empathize, and there's not separatism between us.
None. We're a
so
team.
Trying to understand the blending, of our struggles. You can try and understand, or you can try and have empathy. It's really hard when you're trying to cause separation, especially when for us there's a unity, when we're both trying to advocate for our people.
All people, really.
Yeah.
All people.
We just want people to be treated as human beings.
Because we start here. We identify as children of God. We start there. Right? And I'm going to let you in. I'm going to let you in because you continue to knock at the door, so I will let you in. Okay? You want me to separate my struggle as a black man from the struggles of the rest of the world, as every other ethnicity, if you would. I did that for 45 years and it got me nowhere. And then I hit on to something. It doesn't. You see, I can continue to resonate at that level where I get caught up in the idea that, white supremacy is good evening, cousin Di. We appreciate you so much. Struggle is struggle. I mean, struggle, that's a fact. I can continue to resonate at that level where I say that white supremacy is a fact of life. That is a fact of life. But my lived life experience is this. It was not white supremacy that held me back. It was not the color of my skin that held me back. It was my attitude about said things that held me back in life. Because my lived experience, when I look back critically, I can look and see the TSN turning points, the defining junctures in my life where had I chosen path A or B, this would have happened. I can look back and I see that I always had a choice. I might not have liked my choices, but I always had a choice. And in some instances, it was just as simple as I chose wrong. That's accountability. That's not blame. That's accountability. And granted, at the time, I probably made the best choice that I could, the best decision that I could with the information that I had. Granted, I still chose wrong. And when I look back critically, I can look at it and says that every step of the way, God placed somebody in my journey to assist me. And it was up to me whether or not I was in a position to receive that grace. My sincerest wish is this, that we are one of the persons that God has placed in Precious's path that in some small way will assist her in this battle that is bigger than her. It's bigger than us.
Mm-hmm. And this battle that has to be done because there's young women still coming behind us.
There's still those that require help coming behind us.
Mm-hmm.
We might be okay. By grace, we're lovely. By grace, we are so blessed. But God, we are so blessed. We don't need to fight these battles. We don't need to advocate. For us, it's an act of service. Because we had to scrape and fight to get to where we are to receive God's blessings. We would make it easier for our children after us. Go ahead, baby.
No, and that's thank you, Jody. Yeah, God does have a plan for us.
Always.
And that's sometimes we don't like what that plan is, you know. We have to go through a lot of things. For me, it was a traumatic past. However, if I had not gone through it, I wouldn't be the person that I am today.
Facts.
And thank you. You guys rock.
Thank God bless you. We appreciate you so much.
It's for me. It hits close to home.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
The battle with the system and how it's oppressive and, you know, it's ongoing. However, it's not to the magnitude that this young lady is facing. So whatever support I can provide, whatever voice that I can share, and to bring awareness, it's what I can do, because, you know, we have 4 daughters.
Mm-hmm.
Very indigenous. And I know that the system isn't going to be kind to them. However, if I can make an impact, if Dad can make an impact, and if, you know, helping can make an impact, that it's easier on our daughters coming up so that they don't have to go through these same issues, that will fill my heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like he said, it's a big battle. Some of us don't even know what battle it quite is. You know, only she can feel that battle.
Mm-hmm.
But I can empathize with her and, you know, feel with her as, you know, not being able to hold her son and to be labeled. Yeah.
If you had some words for Miss Precious in this moment, my love, what would you offer her?
I would say to pray. Praying every chance you get, but also don't stop.
That's right.
Don't stop. I've been going 2 years already. Actually, I've been going through the court systems 5-6 years already.
Mm-hmm.
How old is baby?
Baby's 8
Yeah,
now,
since she
baby.
was 2 years old, so about 6 years. It's been an ongoing battle, and but don't give up. You know, God does have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you want to just sit and, you know, Just wish it would all just stop. However, it doesn't. You just have to muster up as a mother. It's in there. You'll tap into that resource. And sometimes the flame goes
Mother.
out.
Mother, that's
Right.
right. Mother, just mother. That's it. That's mother. That's it.
So yeah, but scream. Don't lay down and fold and let the system take over. Scream
And
and make as much noise as you can because our children are worth it.
as you said that, I wanted to reference a quote that on one of her posts that I shared, and this was a quote from Miss Precious. I was heard. I will not be quiet. That is her quote. That is her direct quote on one of her posts. I was heard. I will not be quiet. I mean, I just, my wife once said to me, she looked at me one day and she said, you're a feminist. And I says, no, baby, I'm not a feminist. I don't believe that I'm a feminist. I rage against injustice, in all shapes and sizes. And it just never made sense to me, the women's role in the world. I'm not a feminist. I'm not. I'm more of an equalist. How about that? Right?
Yeah.
Can we all just get to a place where
I'm not better than you and
Right.
you're not better than me.
can we get there? Can we get there? Can we get to a place where we can just love and appreciate each other as God intended it? Can we get there?
And heal past our traumas.
Can we stop living in our traumas? Can we stop living in our trauma
Stop
and
living. No, it's deal with your traumas.
deal with your
Because
trauma?
the trauma is going to be there.
Heal your trauma.
Heal your trauma, and then take a step forward. Because
It's not easy.
It's going to be a step forward, maybe 2 steps back, 2 steps forward. However, it's better than just being stuck where you are and just healing. Because once you start healing, people around you start healing.
Equalist, Joe.
Yeah.
Equalist. I'm an equalist. I am. I'm all about that.
Yeah, Dad, Jody, you should go check out some of our videos. You'd be interested to see how our home runs.
Yeah.
You would think I'm the cook at home. However, it's my husband. He's the maker of food.
And mom is mom is anti-boss.
Yeah.
Mom runs the show. Mom is anti-boss. And
We work really well together. So
But it's different.
We're equalists, and it's different. It
It's
goes
different.
against social norms and.
it really does.
Yeah.
It really does. I'm gonna coin that for all you. Please do. Please. You know what? Let's get it trending. Let's make a hashtag. Let's get it trending. I'm feeling really good about where we are right now, my love.
And it's been 48 minutes, and
Yeah.
We'll just keep our eye out, and if you guys have anything to share, even just in private,
Please reach
to
out.
my husband or myself, and
On one of our many platforms, follow the link. Follow the link.
but also, if you can, please support her and donate what you can, and
And even if it's
But
just a
also-
kind word.
yeah,
Even if you can offer support, if it's a prayer,
yeah,
glory to God. If you can offer just a prayer for this young lady and her family, right? Because I know that she's doing all that she can to advocate on behalf of her son. And to try to find her voice. How dare we try to silence her? She deserves to be heard. Everyone deserves to have a voice. Everyone does. Go ahead, my love.
no, and I think that's where we should end. Everybody deserves a voice, and think of equalist.
Equalists. Let's get equalists trending. Let's try to be equalists. Let's push to all be equalists. Let's not try to cut off the head and replace it with the tail. Let's just walk side by side in this journey called life, and as God intended.
And make the world a better place for the generations to come.
It's so interesting because we've been hearing that for years. What kind of world are we going to leave our children? And let's commit to leaving them better than what we got. Let's leave them something better than what our parents left us.
More natural.
Yeah,
More,
I think that's a worthwhile goal.
yeah.
That's a worthwhile goal. Let's try to leave it just a little bit better. And I mean, instead of, what my wife had to patiently teach me was that, we can't affect change in the world from the outside in, which is to say there's 7 billion people, hashtag equalist. Thanks, Kachin Dai. There are 7 billion people in this world, and we look at it from that perspective and trying to change the world in that perspective. That's a very daunting task. However, if we start within ourselves, if we start within our home, and if we start to Jody equal hashtag, thank you, God bless, hashtag equalist, and if we just start within ourselves,
Go ahead, baby.
then we can.
Sorry, am I covering you? I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. We can make a better place if we create a better space within our own home. Create a better space, a safe space for our children, for ourselves, for our spouses to exist. And then that flows out into the world, and that ripples out and creates ripples in the world. And then that's how we effect lasting change in the world. It starts first by just changing. Well, you don't change your heart. You allow God into your heart, and the Holy Ghost does the work, and God will change your. I will only ever speak on my lived life experience, and I can only say that my heart has been changed by grace, and I'm better for it. I'm better for it. I wouldn't be here encouraging you to try God if this was a bad experience. I wouldn't do that. That's not how I'm wired.
No, but that's I just go back to the Bible as a who's using the Bible. Like, guns aren't bad. It's the people who use the guns.
Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Yeah, and that's like even with the Bible.
People has been used to justify a great much evil in this world. The Bible has been used to justify a great many facts.
Yeah, I just wanted to make that because with a lot of the residential school stuff, because we know that it's the people that use the Bible to hurt other people.
That's right.
That's wrong. But if you're using the Bible to make you a better person, which is being an equalist, then you're on your right path. It's not to hurt other people. It's just to be a good, kind, godly human being.
And we believe the Simpson family, the 4F system, is all about the idea that we believe that God left us the ability right here in this life to manifest our own best lives. He left us that ability to do so. And it starts with faith, right? You have to believe. The faith of a mustard seed, it's such a simple thing. However, if you've seen some pictures of a mustard seed, you'll know that a mustard seed can grow through solid rock, and it come to the point where it'll split the rock. How? Faith. And I really want to end there. Baby, I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you all so much for coming in. Thank you all so much for spending some time with us. Thank you all so much for interacting with us. Please keep Miss Precious and her family in your prayers. Do not allow this to go away.
Harley Precious.
Harley Precious. And keep her in your prayers. There is a GoFundMe page. You can go to our Facebook page, Big Family Life in the Simpson Family Home. You can go to my personal Facebook page, Ian Simpson on Facebook, and you can find Rachel Simpson on Facebook. You can find the links there for the GoFundMe page. Miss Harley, Miss Precious has asked for help, and as a community of human beings, we can help her. We're all equalists to that for all. That's all I have. I'm going to allow my wife to close us.
No, you got us good, baby. All right. Thank you, guys. And have a good evening.
God bless.